hello, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, music geeks, and purple peeps.
Cheer.
Welcome to the Purple Underground. My name is Micah, A.K.A. CMS, and with me I got my partner in crime and my good friend.
P. Ross, hashtag Raccoon Hunter in the building.
All right. Well, again, welcome to all of our viewers and subscribers. Welcome back. Today we are planning on doing this special video, tribute video. This is something we've been planning on doing, and for those who don't know, or I'm sure everybody knows, is that the late Denise Matthews, better known as Vanity, passed away a couple weeks ago. And she actually departed from this earth February 15th, 2016 of this year. So, as the Purple Underground, us being Prince fans, this is what we mainly do our videos on, anything Prince related. We figure like it's only fitting that we actually pay homage to Denise Matthews or Vanity.
Right on.
So just a real quick background. She was born Denise Katrina Matthews on January 4th, 1959 in Niagara Falls in Ontario, Canada, I believe.
Yeah.
And she became a model, or I think she won Miss Niagara back in 1977 and competed for Miss Canada in 1978 and went on to move to New York to become a model. And then later on, she met Prince.
Yes.
At the 1982 American Music Awards. The story about that real quick was supposedly Prince sent a lady, I don't know if it was an assistant, over to she asked Denise if she could take him to the bathroom. And of course she refused, but I guess they met, backstage or what have you. And,
well, that's a hell of a pickup line.
Right. And I think they was talking and they tried on each other's jackets, and both of their jackets fit. And I guess at that time Prince was putting together a female group at the time called the Hookers, which later became Vanity 6 once Denise joined the trio, and when Prince decided to or found out that she could sing, he asked her to become the lead singer. Then the group, then they brought in Brenda Bennett, and then the group was formed. So first album was pretty successful, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, one of the hottest albums ever, for real.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that
self-titled Vanity 6, 1982.
Yes, sir. Had the hit Nasty Girl.
Yes.
Which is I would say it's a classic dance record.
Yes, it is.
And she went on tour with Prince and the time. They were the opening act. Pretty successful tour. And she ended up leaving Prince's camp once the filming of Purple Rain was being developed. I guess there was some conflict going on with the business side and personal side, of course, when her and Prince were dating. A rumor has it that she felt like she should be paid a little bit more with the producers and things like that. After that, she left to pursue solo career, signed with Motown, did 2 albums, Wild Animal and Skin on Skin. Thought those were 2 pretty decent albums. And also, let's Also, I forgot to add that she was also an actress. She was in a couple of hot films. The Last Dragon from 1985, which is a cult classic,
Yes, it is a great movie.
and a couple other movies like Action Jackson, 52 Pickup, I believe that was one. And she also did a few TV spots like Miami Vice, I think Tales from the Crypt. I think she was in an
I know she
episode of
did
that.
Friday the 13th, the
Yeah,
series,
yep, that one.
but the interesting movie that I want to talk about is a movie called Terror Train, which was released in 1980.
Hmm.
It was a slasher flick, you know, and it was starring Jamie Lee Curtis, who
Hmm.
had just came off the back of I believe Halloween and Prom Night. Then
Right.
Jamie Lee Curtis did Terror Train and Vanity. She was credited as Dee Dee Winters in that movie.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
um, actually, Terror Train is one of my favorite slasher flicks.
Mm.
You know, pretty good movie. It's kind of 80s based. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Real goofy and stuff like that. But it's pretty good. Pretty good. You
Real
know,
quick, when was that? When did that film come out?
1980.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the same year I was born.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, like, we just want to get a rundown about, Denise's career a little bit, and I think in the '90s, early to mid '90s, she still did a little acting, and then she decided to turn her life around and became a born again Christian.
Yeah.
Uh, and then she also overcame her addiction to drugs, and uh, you know, so she dealt with some demons, and later on became an evangelist and stayed true to her faith until the day of her transition from this life onto the next, which I think we all as fans have to commend her for that.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
but real quick, I just wanted to talk about like the first time you actually discovered Vanity. Because that's the way we know her as. But you want me to go first,
You
or
could go.
okay? The first time I actually discovered who she was image wise was probably from The Last Dragon. Now I didn't know who her name was. I just remember The Last Dragon trailer and things like that. So it always looked like a real good movie. And I believe my sister went to go see that back in the day. Of course she's older than me, but I didn't know who she was, but I knew. I was like, man, that that girl in that movie is
Right.
like really pretty. But uh, when I found out who she was, actually was, I think a few years later. I was probably around maybe 8 or 9, and I think in one of those Black Beat magazines, and I was looking through it, and my sister, she stopped at one of the pages in there, and there was a picture of Vanity from the Vanity Six era. It was a black and white picture. So my sister was like, "Do you know who that is?" I said, "No, I don't." She said, "That's Vanity. That used to be one of Prince's girlfriends." I said, "Oh, really?" And I'm thinking like at the time, like, wow, like she's really pretty. She reminds me of Apollonia. So, you know, at that time, I didn't know the whole chronological history yet about what was going on. But but once I started to read up on things, learn more about Prince, now I started to see, okay, who she was and things like that. And man, she is without a doubt one of the most gorgeous, beautiful looking women I've ever seen, like
Right.
ever. I mean, she's like in the top two. Just everything. The hair. She had beautiful skin. These big eyes that's just very seductive. That would just glue you in to where you was like underneath her spell. And for the past couple of weeks, I've been going back and reflecting on uh, the music and watching footage on YouTube. I can see how men was just like in awe of her. Like a lot of people said, like she was my first crush, and she was very vamp. Just she knew how to seduce the camera or like tease you. Like she knew what she was doing, and I'm sure she did know that you know she had it. She was I mean like a lot of people look at these women today like call it eye candies. You got your the Beyonces, or some people look at Kim Kardashian like, man, but they wasn't no Vanity.
Right.
you know so but yeah, anyway, man, so when was the first time you actually discovered Vanity?
1982.
Okay.
1982. Which is when I first discovered the greatest Prince album of all time, 1999.
Right.
But it was like, I don't know if I heard Nasty Girl, the actual audio, or I seen the video first.
Mm.
I'm not really for sure, but I know that like in my home, like my brother did have that album along with 1999 and the Times. What time is it?
Right.
Um, So that was like the first time I had actually like seen and heard her, and me being I guess I was 10 years old.
Mm.
You know what I mean? No, I was 8. Sorry. Being 8 years old, I wasn't really allowed to listen to that type of music with that type of content.
Right.
So we
I can
had a
understand why.
we had an old 8 track. You know what I'm saying? And I would take like when like my brother would be gone and my mother be in her room just getting off work or whatever. She'd be
Right.
tired. I'd get the 8 track and I would record like, because it was like the musicology video. He didn't want me touching his shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I would sneak and I would record over old 8 tracks, like these albums and this music, you know what I'm saying? And I'd be like sneaking and listening to it. And
Right.
Vanity Six solo, I mean, I said solo,
The group.
self-titled
Oh,
self-titled
okay.
album, I would sneak and listen to it on the 8 track. So
Okay.
I had like my own little collection of 8 tracks back then.
Mhm.
Um, very, very. She was very, very appealing to the eye. Um,
Very.
you know,
Yeah.
and like her transition from like Prince to like Motown. I was just thinking like, I don't think in the mid to late 80s that Motown had an artist as good looking or sexy or had like that looked like Vanity had.
Right.
Nobody that I could think of. I know the Mary Jane Girls was on Motown. I don't know if they was on Motown or Gordy Records. I can't remember. Um,
Okay.
Mary Jane Girls, Motown or Gordy Records. I think they was on Gordy Records and
Mhm.
Vanity was on Motown. But still, even
Right.
with that, they wasn't as good looking as Vanity. You know what
Right.
I mean? And I sometimes ask myself, like, what if she would have kept the role in Purple Rain?
Mhm.
You know, but '84, she had a great year. The Last
Yeah.
Dragon was great.
Right.
Um, Seventh Heaven being one of my favorite Vanity songs was great.
Right.
So
Right.
you know, it is what it is, man. She will be missed.
Yeah.
You know, um,
Yeah. Definitely.
so
Yeah. Definitely.
those
Um.
are like my first like real life. memories of Vanity, like back then.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
was. Yeah, again, like the two albums that she did for Motown, they were actually, she had some good stuff on there.
Oh yeah,
Mechanical Emotion with Morris, that's the cut.
yeah, yes it is. Yes
Yeah.
sir.
But
Yes sir. And speaking of Mechanical Emotions,
mhm.
um, there was an actual video made for that,
I read about that, but it never got
but
released.
it never got
Right?
released. Right.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know.
man.
So
I wonder if we'll ever. I wonder if we'll ever see the light of day of that. I don't know.
anything is possible. Anything is possible.
Yeah.
So you
Real
know.
quick. The Prince. He did a show over in Australia. I guess the day of her passing or the day after, I can't remember. But I just wanted to point out he did acknowledge her passing and dedicated the show. I thought that was very very touching of him. I remember I think I heard the audio where he performed "Dirty Mind" and "Little Red Corvette."
Right.
You did get a sense of kind of emotional,
Oh yeah.
from that. I'm just curious to why those two songs. It just makes me wonder, was those two songs, is, were they, was she the inspiration behind those two songs, or maybe she really liked those two songs? I was just
Right.
kind of curious about that, but
Right.
um,
Yeah, it was interesting to see Prince actually open up like that on stage.
right.
You know.
It
So.
also it made me think that like she was really special to him.
Oh
Like
yeah.
she wasn't just the typical eye candy.
Right.
And just from watching interviews, I can tell she did seem like she was a nice, sweet person. I could just get that sense of her. She seemed like she had a good spirit, but you know, nonetheless, you know, uh, it is sad, but it's also in a way kind of happy in a glorious spiritual sense, because she quoted from one of her uh, friends from the church that she attends that she was ready to go home.
Right.
So, she, you know, I, she definitely got what she wanted, and she went home to be with the Lord, and I have to commend her for that. And I mean, I think I speak for us both. I think as the fans, we're gonna miss her, but we got the music and movies and photos to still remember her and everything.
Yes
So
sir.
everything. So, uh, Denise Matthews, we love you. We're gonna miss you, and just want to send our condolences to her family and friends and the church family and all the fans around the world. So think that's about it, man. So my name is Micah, A.K.A. CMS,
And I am P. Ross hashtag Raccoon Hunter.
and together we are the Purple Underground. So thank you again for listening and watching our video.